Hello everybody, this is Catholic Dad, episode number 416, A Man is a Rock. That old Paul Simon song, A Man is a Rock, or I am a rock, I am an island. And so why do I say this? And the reason why is that man needs to be a stable and ordered structure of society. So society is always oriented around order and chaos. And so order are the things you're comfortable with, the things that you know, the things you know to be true, and the things that are like non-negotiable, right? The hard truths of the world. And so man, not that he is a rock, he should strive to be a rock, because most men aren't good enough to be rocks, I must say. Typically chaos is brought into the world because man allows chaos to come into the world. And so Archbishop Fulton Sheen once said that evil preaches tolerance until it has power. And so this is the thing that is really hard about being somebody who stands up for their moral convictions in the world, okay? You have to sit there, you have to have your moral convictions, and you can't compromise them no matter what. And you know, that sounds like, oh, that's an easy task. It's not. It's one of the hardest tasks you'll ever face in your entire life, because evil preaches tolerance. And if you have moral convictions about how the world should operate, how you're going to operate your lives, evil is around you at all points in time, and evil is going to be asking you to compromise in small ways your convictions in the name of tolerance. And that may seem like a small task, but it's not. It's probably the greatest task any man has ever been asked to do, that you sit there with your shoulders back as the secular world descends upon you and asks you to accept a certain evil. And sometimes these evils are nothing. They're like little things, tiny little things. And that you're like, well, boy, it's way easier to accept that than the fight, because behind the tolerance argument, right, the evil tolerance argument, are a whole bunch of people that they don't want you to capitulate on that topic, right? That's just the beginning of you capitulating. They want you to capitulate on all the other topics. And as we move into this world, evil wants you to capitulate to the point of the destruction of order and the creation of chaos in society. That's what evil does. And so I would say probably the order that you need to be following is that of the moral teachings of the Roman Catholic Church. And the chaos that wants to ensue is the destruction of the church itself. And so they're going to be sitting there pecking at these little things in the name of tolerance until they have power. And then there will no longer be a need for you to have tolerance for their position, because once they have power, they will dispose of you freely and at will. And so last century was the perfect example of this. You know, you had the Orthodox Church, and then you had communism creeping in, and communism was creeping until they had power. And then it was a revolution against the order of the society, and then it crushed the wills of men. And then they started making their own laws, and they didn't want any more tolerance at all. They only wanted power. And so why would evil want to preach tolerance? And the reason why is this, is because the order of society and the structural order of the church is always based upon the family. And if you have the family, that's the ultimate order in society that you can get, husband, wife, and child. But that's a strong order, and you'll see in the world that the people that oppose the tolerance argument are usually the strongest families. And that's what the devil wants to attack, because they're the bulwark of stability in society. They're the ones that are the rock, the island of society. And the father, as the head of the family, needs to be the absolute rock which that family is founded upon. And he needs to understand that he has been ordained a sheriff by the Lord our God, that it's his sheriff duty to not allow evil to creep into that family and disrupt the order of that family. And that's just something to think about, by the way. That's you as somebody in the society thinking about, what does society ask me to tolerate, you know? Very little things, very small things. And eventually the small things, you eventually don't even think about them anymore. You know, I was I was thinking about it, my small little town here, about 10 years ago. There was this young girl went into a bathroom in a grocery store, and some dude dressed in a dress, right? Some transgender dude goes into the bathroom when this little girl's in there. Well, what do a couple cowboys do? A couple cowboys go in, pull the guy out, bring him to the parking lot, and like put him under arrest. And what did the cops do? Well, the cops, they thanked them for their civic duty, and then the store itself banned that guy from the store itself. Well, this was 10 years ago, right? Does anybody here believe in the realm of 10 years that we would have that? No, we've been preaching tolerance, and tolerance, and tolerance until they have the ultimate power. Which one of you people have the courage to speak about transgenderism nowadays? I mean, that's not that, by the way. See, I'm not being intolerant. I mean, I don't even want to be. I don't want to be viewed as the intolerant one. But the fact of the matter is, it's wrong, and that you need to stand up and protect society against such things. Well, anyway, so yeah, so tolerance creeps and it creeps and it creeps, and it's on a creep mission. And eventually, when you open your eyes, you don't recognize any moral code anymore. And so eventually the destruction of the family, sexual indecency in every way people want to liberate, because that is the ultimate destruction of the family. And eventually that our earthly desires are no longer for the creation of life, but instead for our own lower appetites. And that's when people start devouring each other. And that's when evil no longer needs power, because it already has it. And so be a rock, gentlemen, out there. Think about it. You have to be the bulwark against evil in this world. And if you allow yourself to be manipulated in small ways, that's how eventually the big ways overcome you. And that wave of tolerance that they're preaching, once it has power, it will devour you like a piece of meat. You'll be gone. You literally won't be able to stand against it. So have some courage, particularly in this year coming up. This is the COVID year 2020. We're now in 2021. If you think 2020 was hard, just wait, because 2021 will make 2020 look like a walk in the park, because all the difficulties of 2020 have yet to be felt, and they're coming. They are coming, I guarantee it. And so 2021 will be more difficult, 2022 perhaps more difficult than that. And then the preaching for the tolerance will come like a wave. And once that wave overwhelms you, they will no longer preach tolerance, but they will devour you and destroy you. And so be a rock, don't ever compromise, and try to create some semblance of order in your own family life. And if you could go outside of your own family life, try to be a member of society and create that same order, with the realization that it is very difficult, very hard to stand up against the mob when they want you to tolerate them. So this is Catholic Dad making you think about it. Please like and subscribe, get the Mass, pray the daily rosary, and God bless you all, people. Be well.